recapping another busy week of prep sports. It's High School Sports Talk on ESPN Radio 94.1.
Welcome back to High School Sports Talk on this Saturday, the 20th day of July. I am Matt Hatfield, joined by the coach Ed Young. And at this time, Ed, we have a special guest with us. He is the new head football coach of the Princess Anne Cavaliers in Virginia Beach. We say good morning to Coach James Yeager. Coach, how's your summer going? It's mighty hot out there.
Yeah, it is. It's we had some plans to get out and get a little extra work in outside today, but that got shut down. We had to move it in the gym because it's pretty brutal out there right now. So, but we're still getting some work in.
Yeah, it is. What is for those that don't know? What is kind of the rule with what you guys can do with the heat humidity? Is the heat index numbers at 105 for you guys? That's kind of the okay.
Yeah. It's pretty much up to the trainer. Each school's got a trainer, and they got like a device that monitors it, and pretty much as soon as it hits a certain number with the heat index, factoring in the humidity and the heat, they gotta shut it down. When we're in season, sometimes we'll only be able to go in uppers, helmets. No helmets if it's super hot. So it kind of depends on what the number is and, the trainer, what they tell us, and we just kind of follow suit.
Yeah, we're all at the mercy of Mother Nature indeed, Ed.
Yeah.
Coach Ed Young here. Congrats on the new position there at PA.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
And if you would, please, being the new guy on the block, give us and the listeners your background. Let's go all the way back to high school days. Where you played at in college, and then go right into your coaching backgrounds, right up to the PA job.
Yeah, I lived in Kansas my first year of high school, and then I moved to Northern Virginia. I went to Stonebridge High School right after they opened, so I played a couple years there, and then at the time Stonebridge wasn't the perennial powerhouse that they are now, going to the states every other year, but we went to playoffs and whatnot, so we're pretty good. And then I went to Virginia Tech. I actually went on a full ride Army ROTC scholarship, not even for football. But then I tried walking on. I was invited walk on, and stuck around for a little bit, but then I didn't end up playing or anything. It's just I wasn't a scholarship player or anything. But I decided I still love the game. And I got into coaching as soon as I graduated college and coached a year out in Roanoke at William Fleming High School under Rob Cincinnati and Don Holter, who actually just recently got the head coaching job at his alma mater, Salem in Roanoke. Yeah, so he was kind of my first mentor. And then I moved to Richmond after my first year coaching with Zach Hayden. He's back up in Roanoke too, but he got the head coaching job at Lee Davis back in 2010. I was with him for 4 or 5 years out there. Started calling the defense my third year coaching, and we were playing the Highland Springs, the Varinas, Hermitage when Patrick Kane was there. So we were competitive. We're 5-5 was our worst season. We went 7-3 another season, a couple 6-4 seasons, with not a ton of Division I guys, unfortunately. But we played hard and we stuck around. We were a tough game pretty much for everyone. And then I moved to California for a year. Had some family stuff I had to go out there and take care of. And then when I moved back to Virginia, I was at Green Run for a couple of years, and then Salem last year, and PA now. So I'm primarily just doing defense the whole time, and been fortunate enough to be blessed with this position.
Chatting with James Yeager, the new head football coach of the Princess Anne Cavaliers in Virginia Beach, our guest here on High School Sports Talk, presented by VirginiaPreps.com on ESPN Radio 94.1. And you mentioned Stonebridge there, Coach. I got to ask you, do you marvel at what Mickey Thompson does year after year after year at Stonebridge with that single wing?
Oh, man, it's unbelievable. You could see the beginning of it when I was there. It's just discipline. Everyone has a role. Everyone embraces their role. It's not like they've got 15 D1 guys every year, that are 5-star guys. They'll get one of those guys occasionally, like a Jonathan Allen will roll through, but they develop talent there. When I was there, Ed Wang, he was a friend of mine. He ended up going to Virginia Tech, played tackle. He actually stuck around the league for a couple of years. So, they've just kind of taken it to a whole new level since I graduated. I mean, I was the first 4-year graduating class there, so I graduated in 2008.
Okay.
So they've ever since then they've just continued to get better and better and better and better. So yeah, he's amazing. I never had him as a teacher, I had him as a coach, but he's a great dude, and he's extremely detailed and intense, and just I'm really happy for the school.
Coach, listening to your background, pretty varied background, some really decent guys you worked under, some really good programs. What do you want to establish at PA without giving a whole lot of secrets away? I know you football guys hold it close to the vest, where us basketball guys, we just steal from each other and use it in the same game. What do you really want to establish there at PA, both sides of the ball?
Well, I mean, the first thing I want to establish at PA is I'm really looking to establish a winning culture. I mean, I wasn't overly familiar with the area. But I've done some research on PA since being here, and unfortunately, you look back at the history, and they've only had 3 winning seasons, I think, in about 40 years almost. And that's the whole point of running a program. You want to win games. So that's my main focus, is coming in here, looking at the culture, and trying to change the culture. I mean, you can talk X's and O's, and like you said, I'm not going to go into detail about what we're running, but I can say that we're definitely going to, I'm focusing on being hard-nosed. Grit's a word we talk about, sticking in it to the very end, fighting tooth and nail no matter what, and just changing the mindset here, really trying to have a positive outlook on things. Don't let people fall into the same old stigma of it's the same old PA and they're going to go out and play a bunch of close games, but only be able to come away with a couple wins, So we're trying to change that, instill discipline, but have fun while we're doing it all. Build relationships with these kids and really try and help them grow as young men.
Well, Coach, I got to look at the idea that you got a good one to kind of lead you out front with Tony Grimes. Some can say the best junior in the state. Really tough kid. Elaborate more on him, and if you want to, I know he's going into first year, but some other kids that you want to be known.
Yeah, Tony's an awesome kid, and it really speaks to him and his character to stay around because, I'm not dumb. I know there's a lot of schools in the area that were trying to get him to move to their school, and because PA was in transition, and there was even out-of-state schools that were trying to get him. And we sat down and talked, and, I told him what I would like out of him and what my vision was for the program, and talked with his father and his brothers on Tino's in the program as well. And they decided that this was a good fit, and they wanted to see it through. They wanted to try and be that class that really gets PA pointed in the right direction, not just for a season or two, but for the foreseeable future, And I think that speaks a lot to the character of his kid. I mean, there's nothing wrong with wanting to go and be on a winning team. That's awesome. But I feel like it takes a little bit extra to want to stick around and really try and, no guarantees, but really try and turn something around and make something out of nothing, especially when there was a lot of turmoil at the end of the season with how things ended over here. So, I think you look at the athleticism, it's all there. He checks all the boxes. He's tall, long, he's got speed, he can tackle, defend the ball, he can catch the ball, getting better at that. But the character, that's what I'm looking at right there. The challenge. He likes the challenge. He could have gone just about anywhere and been on a winning team anywhere and help them, but he wants to stick around here and try and turn things around. So I love that.
Well, he sounds like he's a team guy, Coach, that wants to see and also enhance the level of his teammates as well. Who are some others, in addition? We know Tony Grimes is a shutdown corner. He's as good as it comes in the class of 2021. Who are some others we should keep an eye out for, beginning on the offensive side of the ball?
I'm going to start with my seniors because, they haven't gotten a ton of love. But,
sure.
We got some linemen that, I really like. I like their mentality. I mean, since day one, they've been in here and they haven't missed a day of weight training and conditioning or nothing. They're on top of it, and that's Caden McCants and Bobby Booker. They'll be seniors this next year. And, I love what they're doing. It's their last year, and they're really attacking it. They're not wasting a day. They're not wasting a rep. So I think that's awesome, and keep an eye out for them. We got Victor Rio, who's I think a great player, who's got a ton of effort. He's another senior that I'm really counting on this year. And then after that, we get pretty young. We got a lot of juniors and a lot of sophomores. We got Jaden Truesdale, played linebacker towards the end of last year. I'm impressed with him. He's a big physical kid. We got another kid that transferred to us, Hunter Sherman. Kind of the same old big physical smart kid. And then Marquise Brunson. We've posted a couple videos of him on Twitter, and the boy benches in the 400s, and he's getting ready to be a junior in high school. That's pretty outstanding. So I got him. We got Tyshawn Chapman, Keir Brown. Those are some other guys to look out for. We got a lot of guys that I think that can come in and contribute. It just matters. It depends on how they grasp the scheme and if they're accountable and they're following the rules and everything, because everyone's got to be doing it the right way. Everyone's got to know their role and got to be willing to fulfill that role for the team, for the good of the team.
A few more minutes here with James Yeager, the new head football coach of the Princess Anne Cavaliers, our guest here on High School Sports Talk, presented by VirginiaPreps.com on ESPN Radio 94.1. Cavaliers just a couple years removed from making the playoffs in Region 5. They're going to try to make a push at it again this year, and they open things up here in 2019 on August the 29th at Kempsville, Ed.
Coach, what about depth with your squad? I know sometimes that's been an issue in the past, and sometimes typically in losing programs that haven't had a lot of success, that numbers are sometimes tough to come by. But how's it been for you guys, and what do you think so far about your depth?
Well, it's no secret. You said it there. The depth's not there. We're doing what we can do to try and recruit our school. That's pretty much all I can do. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get into the building, for the remainder of the 2018-2019 school year and start right away. But it's going to be a long-term thing where we might have 35, 40 kids this year, and the following year we might have 45, and eventually we'll get up to those numbers of some of the bigger programs around here like Salem or Ocean Lakes or Cox, where they got a lot of kids on the sideline. It just pretty much makes us, as coaches, we really got to, be creative, earn our check, find a way to rotate guys in, keep them fresh, spend time with other guys that, we'll have to spill those guys so they can get a breather, so the main guy can get a breather. That's pretty much what we got to do. It's, I would love to come out in year one having the 50s. And that might happen, it might not. At the end of the day, August 1 is the first official day, and I feel like there's still some kids out there hanging around that, aren't coming to all the summer workouts. But hopefully once August 1 hits, we'll end up with a few extra kids, more than we anticipated. We can get rolling. But other than that, you can't really make excuses. It's the car, those are the cards we're dealt, and you just got to make do and figure it out.
I wanted to go back to something you said earlier about Tony Grimes, Coach, and I agree with you. Being a coach myself, hats off to a kid that, as you said, and you put it out there with no sugarcoating it, that you knew that some schools were after him, and kids are jumping now quicker than ever, and he's a stud, and he's probably going to be playing Division I college football, but he stayed. That is, this day and age, you just don't see that. Hats off to him and to his parents, because a lot of times it's the parents that transfer or shop the kid around so quick, especially when a ship seems to be sinking a little bit. Instead of helping it, everybody wants to jump off it. So I give that kid and parents a lot of congrats also.
Yeah, absolutely.
Last one on your team, Coach, then we'll finish up with the outlook and let you run here. James Yeager, new head football coach of the Princess Anne Cavaliers, with us here on ESPN Radio 94.1. It's High School Sports Talk, presented by VirginiaPreps.com. Quarterback spot, and if you mentioned it earlier, I apologize for missing it. Is that an open competition right now, or do you have a main starter going into camp?
It's an open competition. Everything's an open competition. That's what we got to do to get better. And I feel like when you hand a kid a position, they just get complacent. And that even translates, when you talk about Division I athletes and NFL players. It's the same way. If you hand somebody a position, a lot of times they'll get complacent. So we try to foster that competition here, try to treat it, even though we are in a college, try to treat it as such, and the fact that everyone's got to work, everyone's held accountable, whether it's Tony Grimes or it's an incoming ninth grader. Everyone's held to the same standard. and that's just the way we got to do it. We don't show favorites. Everyone's got to work for their job, compete. There's been guys that are technically starters that have showed up late, and I've kicked out of practice that day. But they understand it, and they appreciate it, and they're embracing it, and they're really coming along. So that's the exciting part, is that these kids are really starting to see what it's all about and really embrace it instead of shy away from it and take the easy route.
And lastly, what's on tap for you guys? Yeah, I know you probably have 2 scrimmages before the season opener, and give me an outlook on the Beach District, where we've talked about this before on the show, and with new coaches, old coaches, everybody in the Beach has something to worry about, whether it's a Division I athlete, really good at this position, this side of the ball. I mean, everybody in the Beach seems to be, I don't know if I'd say evenly matched, but capable and has potential.
Yeah, I mean, you can't undersell anyone around here. We got Kempsville's got Coach Cherry over there, and I've seen what he's doing. We've talked, and he's turning them around. So I feel like they're gonna compete. They're gonna compete. Green Run's got a ton of talent over there, and they're gonna compete. And then obviously you got the Salems and the Ocean Lakes and Cox, and FC's been playing better. So we're not trying to sleep on anyone. I hope people are trying to sleep on us. I don't do a whole lot of talking. I don't really get involved in stuff. I try to just keep our team to ourselves. I think we're going to go to CNU in a couple days here and get some work against some other teams. And then we got a scrimmage against Nansen River. I worked with Coach Conyers for a minute. So I'm going to go down there, get some work against Booker T, another scrimmage, and hopefully be, full tilt, ready to roll when we get week 1 matchup with Kempsville. But we're not trying to sleep on anyone. We want to go out to play to the best of our ability, and if that means the best of our ability is we put 45 points on somebody, great. If the best of our ability means that it's a low scoring game, we maybe not get away with that one because if the depth catches up with us, it is what it is. I want kids to focus on doing their best, being accountable, everyone doing their best, and just only focus on what we control. And just doing our very, very best.
Well, Coach, thank you for the time this morning. We wish you all the best. Looking forward to seeing what's in store for the Cavaliers this year and beyond, and I'm sure we'll keep in touch.
Absolutely. I appreciate the opportunity to come on the show.
You got it.
Good luck to you, Coach.
All right. Thank you, Coach. Take care.
That is James Yeager, new head football coach of the Princess Anne Cavaliers, our guest here on High School Sports Talk, presented by VirginiaPreps.com on ESPN Radio 94.1. Ed, you and I just kind of casually, as the interview's going on, and we don't always do this with new coaches, so we don't want people to think, we're kind of we're liking some of the things he's saying. I think he's on the right track. It doesn't happen overnight, new coaches, that program, and, he didn't sugarcoat it. He said it like it was, that they've had some rough years in recent seasons. Granted, you go back to those late 60s, I think it was late 60s, just early 70s days of Buster O'Brien, Charlie Carr, the dynamic duo passing the football. But you got a player in Grimes who's a leader, and that permeates through the whole team if he does the right things and is loyal, dedicated, and he certainly has got the abilities, as he's rated the number 1 prospect, as you said, in the class of 2020 in the state of Virginia. So there you go.
Yeah, a lot of times coaches get hired in different sports. They come in guns a-blazing. Now we're going to run. We're going to do this. Football, we're going to hit everybody, included a water boy. Yeah, we're going to do.
They don't do that.
He doesn't. Coaches was low-key, very realistic, looking around. Everybody has to earn their position, including Grimes. We're going to try to do this. We're going to try to do this maybe, but he's not really saying what, because he's got to see if they can do what he's asking to do. You always got to fit your system to the talent level you have or don't have. I like the way he's approaching it. It's a very low-key approach. It's a little different, but it's the most realistic approach a coach should take in coming in. Sometimes as coaches, we want to say what we think people want to hear that are involved in a program and then put our foot in our mouth too quick, because that's not what's going to happen.
We've got more interviews. Darian Varner of Maury High School is going to Temple. Coach Doreen McCain of the Commodores, who took them all the way to the state semifinals. And then the team that beat them in the state semifinals, the reigning 4-time state champion Highland Springs Springers, who, folks, could they be better than they've been? It's a scary thought. More to do here with the Coach Ed Young. I'm Matt Hatfield. Don't go anywhere. It's ESPN Radio 94.1.